happened? This car is so popular because old ladies come by and they said, "Oh my God, I got married in one of those." And then the little kids come by and said, "Oh, my grandpa had one when I was born," or something, you know.
It's the old story. It brings back memories of old girlfriends too, right? Hey, tell us a little bit about the car and the history of it.
Oh, the DeSoto Adventure as a make, as a model, as an automobile was, I think it was DeSoto's last-ditch effort to come back and try and match the Chrysler number cars. You know, the Chrysler, the 300B that year, and DeSoto had not been doing very well at all. So they came up with this amazing design, which is so over the top, with stainless steel and chrome, and a unique engine, by the way, a 341 dual 4-barrel, 320 horsepower. Which was an engine that was not in the Chrysler. It was used only 1 year. They made less than 1,000 of these cars in 1956 and sold them all out in 6 weeks. Everything was automatic. 8-way seats, power windows, power steering, just a magnificent 2-speed push-button transmission.
Amazing.
The DeSoto Adventure in '56 only came in 2 colors. It came white with gold trim or black with gold trim. If you had a black one, you got gold fleck in the carpets. If you had a white one, you got silver fleck.
Isn't that amazing?
And it is still working. I've never touched it. Never touched it. While it sat down out in the field, I guess it just didn't run because it's a mechanical clock.
Amazing.
The minute you turned the steering wheel, it started up again. I've had the car for about 7 years. My son, who lives in Boise, found it sitting in a field, had been in the field for years and years, and the tires were flat, the paint was gone, the interior was completely destroyed, but everything was in the car. The Batwing air cleaner, which is priceless now, the antennas, the gold anodized discs were in the trunk. Everything was there except that it'd been weathered unbelievably.
I mean, there's not a ripple in the bodywork. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, if you look at it on the side, I mean, whoever did the work did a hell of a job.
It was the pace car for the 1956 Pike Peak Hill Climb. It was my very, very good friend and my favorite buddy man, Dave McLaughlin, whom I met 24 years ago and who has done restorations for me, he just got so involved with this job that he just, you know, it had nothing to do with money, it had nothing to do with what he does for a living. He put every single second into this car to
make it
heart
perfect. Into it, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And he loves it. If I were not going to bring the car myself, he would have brought it.
Oh, wonderful.
I've had the car for about 12 years. Bought the car from a buddy of mine and completely restored it, ground up restoration. Everything else has been redone in the car. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's a great car. It's the Rocket Oldsmobile.
Rocket 8, second year of the V8 engine, yes. Yeah.
I could tell you stories about that in high school. I went to Beverly Hills High School, and these guys used to have these 32 and 34 Roadsters. Yeah. And we used to go out on Wilshire Boulevard at the time and go out to the marina, and we used to drag race.
Oh, yeah.
We'd, a Friday night, we'd mark off a quarter of a mile, and we'd bet $2 and $5 was a big bet. We'd get a couple of guys together, and I mean, the 32 and 34s, it was a 135 horsepower motor. It was amazing.
We did that at San Vicente Boulevard.
Oh man, it was so much fun. But I look at these old cars and I just love them. I had a 59 like this one here, and it was an amazing car. They had so much torque. You know, the motors, a heavy car, but they're great. I mean, you just can't get away from that nostalgia.
Right.
You know, that's what really puts you over the hill, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
the old way of doing the old things compared to the new way of doing the new things.
Yes.
The Concours Elegance has been an outstanding opportunity to showcase one of the true jewels of our city. Thank you all for being part of this wonderful success.
Auction's Outstanding Mascot Award, the mascot being the Lalique Trophy. Vintage cars, the Lalique hood ornament was often adorning very special cars. And that goes our Heritage Auctions Outstanding Mascot Award to this 34 Pierce Arrow. If you don't like green, this would. If you don't like green, this would not be your car. Oh, well, you know what? This 1956 Lincoln Continental, owned by Peter Hoffman. And boy, with a black car, if you don't get it right, especially with big panels. This was Lincoln's answer to Rolls-Royce. They said, we can build a car as good as a Rolls-Royce, and they apparently lost money on every one they built. Only around for a couple of years, 56 and 57. This being the earlier year, and yeah, if you can make this car look good with that black paint, you deserve that McGuire's Outstanding Paint presentation. Thank you very much. Picture a beautiful Ferrari, 1967, 365 California, owned by Jack Nethercutt and the Nethercutt Collection, of course, in Sylmar. Ashley gonna hand that beautiful Tiffany trophy. Ron Hine, thank you very much. I know many people think Ferraris only come in red, but they sure look striking in silver as well, as evidenced by picking up an award today.
The car was designed by Alex Tremlis. This was Chrysler's response to the Buick Y-Job of 1938, which was the first concept car. And Alex Tremlis and Ralph Roberts presented this car to Walter Chrysler, and he agreed to build 5 in the summer of 1940. And they did these cars at LeBaron in 120 days. Wow. Each one was a little different. This was known as the Copperhead car, the rarest of the bunch, because of all the copper trim and the unusual color mechanism. But these cars featured, they were known as the first modern car. The first car with a full envelope body, a large full wraparound windshield. It had hydraulic windows, electrically operated retractable hardtop.
In those days, my goodness.
Which was very rare. The only Peugeot had one earlier, in 1937. The instruments were all edge-lit Lucite back, push-button doors, which worked perfectly. And anyhow, these cars caravan all over the United States, and they had mobs at the dealerships to look at them. This particular car was introduced in March of '41, and Bruce Cabot, the actor, he saw it and he bought it out of the caravan. That he had Chrysler put the speed equipment on it. He was a owner of Edmunds Manifold, and he wanted his manifold on it made just for Chrysler with the dual Edmunds. When I found this car, it had a 1952 Marine Hemi, 331 54 Hemi. It's in 1953 or 4. This car was in B&H Motors in San Francisco, and whoever owned the car just wanted more power to put a Hemi in it. So when I bought it at the Harris auction in 1960, it had a Hemi engine in it. It was all black. It had been painted 5 times, and I paid $40,000 for it. And then I restored it 2.5 years ago. 10,000 hours in the restoration. Wow! So a lot of money in the car now.
Yes, I can imagine.
And I valued it at about $1.5 million. Anyhow, the fine part of the story, the unusual part, is I was selling some cars 5-10 years ago, and talked to a guy out of Pebble Beach, and asked him. He asked me what else I had. I said I had a Thunderbolt. I'm getting ready to restore. And he told me that he had a 32 Chrysler with a Thunderbolt engine. I said, well, my car has a Hemi. He said, you know what? In 1954, one of the Chryslers had the engine removed and the Marine Hemi put in it, and then so I bought the car. It had the exact correct engine number on it. The odds of that happening, one in a million to get the original engine back.
That's amazing.
So we reunited it with the original engine, and everything works perfectly in the car. This body is built out over the New Yorker chassis, and with these hubcaps are removable. The skirts, the fender skirts are removable, and but it looks better like this. But in order to make, they built them way out. Then we took it to Amelia Island. At Pebble Beach, it was third in class, 09. Amelia Island in 010, it won the Camille Giannazzi Award for the car with the most audacious exterior.
Thank you so much for your time, and the best of luck to you.
Our pre-war American class. May we see the 1937 Cord 812 owned by Tony Vincent. And this is a Cord with that classic, unmistakable sort of Art Deco styling, and a front-wheel drive car. You thought Honda invented front-wheel drive in the 70s. No, no, no. Cord was way ahead of their time. 1937 Cord 812. Thank you, Tony. Congratulations. Another collection for your trophy case. Post-war American 1957 dual Ghia owned by Irwin Thaler. Cars favored by celebrities such as Frank Sinatra, Lucille Ball. Popular car back in its day in front of the finer restaurants in Beverly Hills.
Very interesting about this car, there were only 14 of them made. So that's pretty special, and I thought equally special, it being the mayor's choice, there's only one Beverly Hills.
Mr. Mayor, if you want to walk around to the far side of the car and pose for a photo with the trophy. And Jack and Helen can now drive that, and free parking anywhere in Beverly Hills for the next year, right? Is that the stunts over there? I think we got some, it's coming up, yeah. We just got to clear the motorcycles out of the way. Jim Jahan, manager of Brooks Brothers on Rodeo Drive, presenting the Brooks Brothers Timeless Style Award. We want to get the nice photo for our galley of photographers here. Congratulations. We normally think of a Stutz as a sporting car, but this is a Pro, a beautiful touring sedan. Thank you, Jim, and thank you to Brooks Brothers.
You to give us a little information on your car?
It's a 1956 Pegaso Z102 Panoramica. Panoramica name comes from the wrapped around windshield. Pegaso is a rare car actually. They only built 86 cars in 6.5 years, and 3 like this particular one. This car was the turntable car at the Paris Auto Show in 1956 and the Turin Auto Show in 1956. It's a 4-cam Hemi V8, 3.2 liter, 11-to-1 compression ratio, develops 270 horsepower in a 2,600 pound car. It is very fast. My son-in-law and I did the restoration on it in memory of my son. My son was a car buff, and he found 2 Pegasos back in 1972, but unfortunately he passed away of cancer and never got to see them restored. So when the car was going to be the mark at Pebble Beach, we decided, well, we were going to restore it and show it in his memory.
Did you ever consider selling any of these vehicles?
No, this car has too many memories in it for me to sell. It's a very valuable car. It's up in the 7 figures.
It's been a wonderful help and an education at the same time.
Thanks for stopping by.
And that is a big, big Cadillac. I felt the stage wobble a bit as it came up. This is the car you all thought was the best car here. 63 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud, owned by Michael Hammer. And this car just kind of defines the elegance of Rolls-Royce, our Director's Choice Award. Vinny, come on up and let's present the motorcycle awards.
These bike guys are hiding out. We couldn't find them. This is what supposedly started it all for motorcycles back at the turn of the century. So there was a debate between whether Mercedes-Benz in 1885 invented the motorcycle, which had 4 wheels, and then the French came out with 3 wheels. It has nice teeth too. It's a British good thing. I had to do it. It's called the 1968 Flink, F-I-L-N-K, like a rat flink. And this was made in Sweden, and it was made out of aluminum, and you can put any kind of engine that you want into it. Gustav Flink designed these bikes. I have never seen this bike. This bike is about $150,000, if you can believe that. So Brad Boyle Motorsports, Fjord Belinda, thank you so much.
1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Roadster. The original owner was a gentleman in Mansfield, Ohio. Checkered flag chief administrative officer Bruce Meyer, who was a really well-known car collector and aficionado, bought the car in 1978. The car has been completely restored. It's got like 680 horsepower. It's been restored to as close to original as possible, except the engine has more horsepower than they originally came with. It's been in a large number of concours and displays since the mid-1980s and has garnered many, many trophies. Carroll Shelby signed it. It is an original, it's an original 1967 Cobra. The serial number has been documented, the car has been documented by the Federation Internationale d'Automobile. 26,000 miles on it.
Which is very, very little for that car.
Right.
And who, do you know, did the restoration on the car?
Bill Joykoff of Enzo Motors in Anaheim. In fact, it just came from his shop yesterday.
It's a perfect car. I mean, it's a lovely car. It's very, very distinctive, you know, compared to all the other vehicles that are here. It's an eye-getter.
Well, thank you.
To the 1953 Mercedes-Benz 300S, owned by Arthur Hadley. This is a car also favored by movie stars, actors. I believe Clark Gable had a car very similar to this. What a stunning example. Before Mercedes-Benz was really a household name in this country, and they were sold at Studebaker dealers. And Vinnie and Beverly Hills Mercedes came along a few years later, but this was a car that you would see driving in and out of the gates of MGM Studios or Paramount with an actor or actress behind the wheel, and a stunning example. Thank you very much. Do we have Jesse Alexander nearby? Jesse's going to present the Jesse Alexander Outstanding Sports Car Award to this 1956 Austin Healey 104, owned by Fred Stewart. Can we hold the photo up? Yeah, if you can hold it up. There we go. And just kind of... And we give it to an Austin Healey. Very nice. Congratulations. This just defines a sports car. Post-war British. Our award goes to a stunning, stunning car, a 1961 Aston Martin Zagato bodied, owned by David Sidoric. Ashley from Tiffany will be coming over and bringing you a beautiful trophy. The Sidoric trophy case is another one that's quite full, deservedly so. How many saw the new Duke and Duchess of Cambridge tooling around in the Aston Martin on TV the other day after their wedding? Bloodline to this car. Congratulations, David. What a stunning, stunning car.
We are looking at your car, we're admiring it, and we'd like to ask you some questions, what you can tell us about it.
I recently just acquired it, about 60 days ago, and we're doing some rallies with it this year. We're showing it a lot. The car's won second in its class at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance in 1997. In 1998, it won Best of Show in the Concours Italiano, and then basically it was stored. It was put away and until I bought it from the gentleman 60 days ago, and now we're bringing it out to the public because I think these beautiful cars should be shown and admired and enjoyed. Very lovely.
Now, did you know anything what he did with the vehicle before you purchased it?
It's been completely restored. He took it. He bought it in 1994. Went through the entire car and completely restored it. We are actually going through further documentation right now with different groups of people that we've known that know these cars and know this body style and know this engine and chassis, and we're getting further documentation back from Italy, from the factory. We know of two in the entire world. One's in the Simeon Museum, and this is the second one with this body, and the third one we haven't been able to locate yet.
What prompted you to have the interest in getting a car like this?
You know, I sort of knew about this because I've seen this car, and it's been in numerous publications and sort of advertisements, but not really shown in its completeness. I've seen the pictures of it, and when it came up, it really never even hit the market. I picked it up before it even hit the market.
That's wonderful. It's a beautiful, beautiful car.
This is a great show, and this is the second year I've been involved, and I'm going to come back again and again. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job here, and this show is just phenomenal. And the community, I've been in Beverly Hills for 30 years plus, and I love it.
FB4, owned by Andrew Lindley. Another example of Italian craftsmanship, not necessarily in a sports car, but in a touring car.
I can tell. Either that or you're super talented.
Wonderful, wonderful car. Post-war European sports. The 1961 Alfa Romeo Giulietta SPW Speciale. Was this the one in your photo today, Donald?
Record-setting.
Record-setting car. And the Malamutes have a fantastic collection out in the Westlake Village area, but most of them are little tiny things. So I like this one. A little more room inside. They're out there, folks, in barns and garages. These cars are hiding. Next up is our Best of Show Concours de Sport. 1962 Ferrari 400 Super America, owned by Peter McCoy. Many Ferraris went racing or competed at Le Mans. This was the Ferrari for grand touring. Your fitted luggage in the back and ready for a weekend at Carmel or points beyond. Best of show, Concours des Sports. Ashley presented the beautiful Tiffany Trophy to Peter McCoy for this Ferrari 400 Super America. Congratulations. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, our best of show, Concours d'Elegance, the 1934 Voisin C27 Aerosport, owned by Peter and Earl Mullen. And that, like all their cars, is a striking thing of beauty. Wow, what a car. This is truly stunning.
Well, our dealership is going to be at 9022 Wilshire. McLaren's a pioneer in carbon fiber, and that's why the monocoque is made entirely of carbon fiber. But McLaren had the first carbon fiber race car and the first carbon fiber road car. This will be the middle point, and they expect to make about 1,000 a year of these. 300 or 400 of those will come to the United States. McLaren's got a huge obsession with weight, and it carries forth from their racing efforts. McLaren 3.8 liter twin turbocharged 600 horsepower engine. Everything is very compact and close to the middle, so not only is the weight low, but where the weight is in the car, where it's located in the car, has been managed very, very carefully in order to aid handling. They started with the perfect driving position and then built a car out from there.
Very interesting.
You have tremendous sight lines forward and to the side and even to the rear, which is very, very unusual for a car like this. This has an hydraulic system that balances all 4 dampers all the way around the car. That can react all individually. So what this car offers is, when you're just driving normally, it's a very comfortable, compliant ride.
How is the trackability, say, compared to the Ferrari, the F4?
The 458?
458.
Well, obviously that's our chief competitor.
Yes.
But the car has a 15% torque to weight advantage and a 10% power to weight advantage. We weigh a couple hundred pounds, a little more than 200 pounds less than the Ferrari. We've got 30 more horsepower and 50 more pound-feet of torque. Importantly, on top of that, we also have all of the mass is very much centralized in the car. The center console area is very, very narrow, and in fact, they turned the navigation screen from landscape mode to portrait, and then they moved the air conditioning ventilation controls to the door panels, and what that did was move the seats closer to the middle of the car, closer to the center of gravity of the car, and also in front engine car or rear engine cars where you have the wheel located so close to the driving position, typically what happens is you're outboard, and so you don't sit quite straight because the wheel is intruding into your space. Not so here. You're sitting absolutely perfectly straight, and you're almost dead center in the car. You literally are sitting on the center of gravity. It feels like your spine is where the rotation of the car as it turns. Amazing road feel through the steering wheel. Really, it's a telegraphic car.
Is it overpowering the amount of horsepower, or is it commensurate with the vehicle stability and handling of the car?
I think the power to weight and the power to chassis is just about spot on for what you want on a road car.
Yeah.
If you get any more than that, you get a little hairy when you're driving it. So we're one of the oldest dealerships in the state, and we're part of the Potemkin group. We're nationwide. As I mentioned, McLaren Beverly Hills will be the #1 dealership in the world. We're going to get more cars than everyone, and it was a perfect match for the auto gallery to be at McLaren Beverly Hills. So I'm pretty excited to be there. I can't wait for the first cars to start arriving and start having people drive around town in them.